Donald Trump is set to deliver his State of the Union address to Congress and the country tonight, and it could not come at a more pivotal time for the president. The country is staring down a conflict with Iran, potentially, another conflict with Cuba. We're already mired in a conflict with Venezuela. We've got a stagnant economy and consumers who feel like their dollar just isn't going far enough right now. And they're watching Donald Trump give tax breaks to the wealthiest handful of people in the country while they are struggling. And guess what? On top of all of that, he has deployed an overly aggressive federalized police force into cities that are killing American citizens. It is not a good time for the country. And the president's polling is reflective of that. There's generally been this conventional knowledge that Donald Trump's approval rating sits somewhere between 40 and 45% at all times. Now, in some recent polling that has come out, we have started to see the president's approval rating dip into the 30s. And when that happens, the administration clearly understands that the bottom is starting to fall out of the president's popularity, even amongst the people who voted for him multiple times since 2016. Now, because of that, the MAGA spin propaganda PR machine is out in full force today in the lead up to this State of the Union address. And you've got all of these Trump allies, both within the administration and on Capitol Hill, is spinning blatant falsehoods to try and gaslight people into thinking the economy is great right now, while completely ignoring the fact that we live the economy every day, and that spinning these lies or cherry picking these numbers is not going to be enough to convince the people that the economy is good when they're struggling every day. And so I want to kick off with Karoline Leavitt this morning. She gave an interview, and it's very interesting to see who she blames for the state of the economy. Let's take a look.
And of everyday Americans who are directly benefiting from his policies and making a few new policy announcements as well to continue tackling the affordability crisis that Joe Biden created 1 year ago. And the president will be talking about the positive metrics we have seen and moving forward towards making life again more affordable and prosperous for all Americans.
So that's going to.
Pretty interesting, Caroline. Joe Biden wasn't president a year ago. So if the affordability crisis was created a year ago, that means it was done under this administration. And since we are talking about things related to the affordability crisis, I do want to focus on some numbers that the administration will no doubt forget to mention to people during the State of the Union address tonight. Maybe the fact that last year we had the weakest job growth since the pandemic. We only added 580,000 jobs last year amidst a wave of white collar and tech and government layoffs due to Doge and the government, cutting vital programs. We have 16 to 24-year-old unemployment at above 10%, which is higher than it was during the financial crisis. We had fourth quarter GDP, a huge drop, which we will get to a bit later. We saw retail inflation at 5.4% due to tariffs. And we also saw a 46% increase in farm bankruptcies due to tariffs as well, and external trading partners not buying our agricultural products due to tariffs. Now, this was not created under Joe Biden, as Karoline actually very helpfully mentioned. And what's so interesting here is you've got this contrast of the administration saying the economy sucks because of Joe Biden. That narrative does not work anymore. People do not buy into it because Joe Biden has not been president for a year. And things have gotten so much worse. And then you've got allies on Capitol Hill trying to go out and actually gaslight people and claim that the economy is great. And it just begs this question of, what is it? Is the economy great and you're lying to us because we don't feel it? Or does it suck and it's Joe Biden's fault? And they haven't seemed to be able to figure this out very well yet. But let's go to Mark Wayne Mullen, the senator from Oklahoma, trying to talk up why the economy is good, which seems to go counter to what the administration is saying. Let's take a look.
Start talking about the economy and the amount that we brought down inflation. We cut it in half on average, but from a high of 9.1 to 2.4.
But when he came into office, it was about where it is right now.
Well, but we stabilized it. When you start talking about energy costs, the way the energy costs have come down, which the energy cost, Joe, is energy is the backbone of the economy. You can't build and you can't ship without factoring in energy. So as you've seen energy come down, the wars that he has stopped, the amount of killings that he has stopped around the world, the safety you feel in our streets now. I mean, right here in Washington, D.C. is a prime example. The way he's restoring law and order and bringing confidence back. Our military.
First of all, notice the fact that he tries to take credit for inflation going down, which was under Joe Biden. And then Joe Kernan, who is pretty MAGA, so the fact he pushed back was kind of shocking to begin with. And Joe Kernan says, actually, inflation is basically the same as it was when Donald Trump took office. Meaning, and then Mark Wayne Mullen just pivots and goes, well, we halted it. So he lied. And then he tried to take credit for the halting of inflation, which is what happened under Joe Biden's watch. And then guess what? It's not exactly a flex if you're saying inflation was going down and we halted it where it was when it was on a downward trajectory over Joe Biden or under Joe Biden. That is not a great brag, I would say. And then on top of that, he's talking about, well, energy costs are so much lower. That is not true. Gas prices are a bit lower than they were when Donald Trump took office. They were a little above $3. They're a little below $3 now, not significantly so. Meanwhile, you have people's utility and electric bills that have gone up from anywhere on average between 6 and 13% over the past year, more than offsetting whatever the drop in gas prices has been. So that claim is also false. And that is the problem. They're cherry picking these things to claim the economy is good, while the administration is saying, well, the economy actually isn't great, but it's Joe Biden's fault. And Andrew Clyde did the same thing, but talking about Trump's foreign policy and tried to brag about why this has been such a foreign policy success year for Donald Trump. Let's take a look.
I hope they're respectful to the president and they respect at least the office. But I think Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well on the Democrat side. So, who knows what the Democrats are going to do tonight. But tonight is all about the president and the state of our union. Mm-hmm. And it is stronger, it is safer, it is more prosperous. And we as a nation are more respected. Actually, we're feared on the world stage because of President Trump. So I'm looking forward to his speech and the path ahead where he will lay out for us his vision for the future.
This is all bullshit, and we know it. We are certainly not more respected than we were a year ago, and we're not more feared than we were a year ago. We've taken these traditionally strong institutions that we participated in with our allies and abandoned them to form BS vanity projects like the Board of Peace, which we know is not going to accomplish anything, and it's nothing more than enriching already rich people in the rebuilding of Gaza. And guess what we're also watching to show that we are not respected anymore? We are watching our formerly close allies cut us out of the mix and get closer to each other than ever, and closer to our to our adversaries than ever. We watched Canada and China strike a trade deal. We're watching India and the EU strike a trade deal. We're watching the UK and China open up more bilateral relations again and explore the possibility of a trade deal. We are getting cut out of the mix on the world stage because we are not respected anymore. So Donald Trump can bomb a bunch of fishing boats in the Gulf or try to bomb Iran and say that means we're more respected. But in the actual important parts of the global infrastructure, which are our trade deals and our relationships with our allies, they have never been weaker. Now, I want to finish with Mike Lawler, pretty vulnerable congressman from New York State who is hopefully and most likely going to lose his seat. Well, let's finish it off with one more falsehood from a Trump ally today. Let's see what he has to say.
A brand new CNN poll found that 68% of Americans say that President Trump does not have the right priorities. 68% say no, just 32% say yes. Why do you think they feel this way?
You saw third quarter GDP growth over 4%. So things are moving in the right direction, but the American people haven't yet fully felt it. And so they want us to be laser focused on these issues. And I think that's what the president needs to talk about tonight.
You conveniently left out fourth quarter GDP, which was at 1.4%.
And there we go. Another disingenuous lie from someone affiliated with this administration, as opposed to taking the obvious big flashing red lights that are in their face right now, that the economy is not good and the American people are not happy. They are going to continue to ignore it. And if they're not going to ignore it, they're going to do what Mike Lawler is saying, which is, oh, don't worry, you're going to feel it soon. We have been told that for the past year, and not a single thing is budged and not a single thing feels better. So the president's going to go up. He's going to tell lies tonight. He's going to gaslight people and spin a fantasy world that we do not live in. And unfortunately, all of the polling and the electoral losses in the world don't seem to get that message through to the administration that people aren't happy. And so expect a lot of coverage on this. I will be here to talk to you about it tomorrow, but it's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. That is it for me today. If you liked what you saw in this video, throw a like on it. Follow the Demwins Media YouTube channel. Follow me at buildingthebench.substack.com, and we will keep bringing you the news as you need to see it. Thanks for watching.